Hello.
Hey, dude.
It has been a minute.
It
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
There hasn't
So,
been much 40K stuff.
dude, there's been plenty of nerd stuff. I've just been like busy as fuck, but that's beside the point. The point is, so it's been 6 years since, well, what happened 6 years ago, Zach? In like this time, exactly this time back in 2017, what happened?
Fuck, I don't remember. Six
Gil,
years
Gil,
ago? I'm too old
Gilliman,
for that.
Gilliman returned.
Oh, you mean Gwilliman? Oh, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah,
G-
that's the big one.
Gilliman returned, and
We got our first Primarch back.
yeah, it's 6 years go by. A lot of new stuff in the game came out. A lot of new lore and novels came out. And I don't know, what were you thinking in terms of time frame? Were you like, okay, once Gilliman came back, were you kind of the mindset like, okay, he's like he's the beginning of the snowball, and now we're just gonna start getting Primarch after Primarch, or did you think like, okay, we got Gilliman, we're not gonna get another one for like 20 years?
That's
You
what I
thought,
thought.
yeah,
It's just that's been Games Workshop's like MO. They're
yeah,
like, here's a little bit of something. We're baiting the water. Come on, have a taste. Oh, you're back in? Fuck you, you're back. You can't get out.
you get
You're never
nothing.
getting out.
You get nothing.
And you get nothing. You lose. It was Willy Wonka tactics. But then they surprised me. They seem to actually be committed to continuing the story of the
Progressing
Imperium
some
not being an
shit, yeah.
absolute piece of shit.
Because, dude,
Um,
like here's the thing, people. So the Arks of Omen story arc that's been going on right now, like there's been subtle hints throughout each installment of it, like each chapter of it, that like Lionel Johnson was returning. Like people over YouTube all the time were like, the people I've been watching, people have been like saying like he's coming back, he's coming back, he's coming back, and I'm kind of like, I was of the mind like, usually when I see that much hype for something, I'm like, okay, this is a bunch of people who are reading into every little fucking detail and
yeah,
trying to create
that's
some
what I think
head
too.
canon that ties it into, like, they're starting from their solution and then working the problem
Yeah,
backward from, yeah.
yeah. They go, this is what's going to happen. I know it. I
Yeah.
don't have any proof, but I'm right.
But
And that's
but I'll find some proof. I'll make some up.
yeah,
Like
I will find it. I'm going to dig through all the most esoteric shit I can get my hands on and
like
link that to my belief
do you know
so
who
that I'm right.
you know the the 40K YouTuber Chapter Master Valrak? You ever watch his
Oh,
stuff?
of course,
He
yeah.
wraps his head in
Valrak,
foil.
Baldermore's Guide.
Dude,
Oh, yes.
yeah. He's been
He's a huge meme on Grim Day.
every other fucking video that dude's made for the past 6 months has been like, I saw this marking on a wall in a book. The lion's coming back. Like every little dude, they released a brand new Farsight model for the Tau, and
Yeah,
on the Farsight model's arm is this random like sigil rock. And
yeah.
Valrak literally made a video that was like, that sigil is tied to the lion. He's coming back. like
Dude,
every other video.
the Farsight thing coming back, the Farsight model, that the discourse around the Farsight model has got to be the most peak Warhammer 40K crazy nonsense. Like if you ever want to get into the hobby, just read the discourse around that, and that's what you're getting into. Everything that comes out is going to get that kind of shit. They were like, he's chaos corrupted, he's going to come back to the server of porn, or he serves the Necrons now, or he's actually been infected by the Tyranids and he's a Tyranid Tau. There were like 1,000 theories.
Yeah.
His is my favorite because it was just based on some bullshit.
Like you
just
saw Mark
I'm
on
right
his
and
arm,
you're all
like,
wrong.
yeah, no. But so yesterday, me and my wife, we just got back from the gym. We're sitting in the kitchen. She's cooking some dinner, and I open up my iPad and I see this YouTube video. It's from Valrak, and the video goes, GW has just teased the lion. It's going down tonight. And I go, fuck it, I'll bite. And I click it. And the first thing opens up, he's wrapping his head in foil, and then he goes, Vindication! And this was the first piece of real proof, because this is probably around like 5:30 p.m. my time last night, and he shows in the background of his video, he shows the little teaser video that GW put out. Because right now, Adepticon is going on. It's in Chicago yesterday and today. Then it's jumping to New York City, and at some point I think it's jumping over to UK and Japan and all that shit. But it's in Chicago right now up there. And for Adepticon, the first day of it too, like it's like the end of the first day of the convention, like talk about blowing your load early. Like they were like, they put this thing out, and it was the fucking the sleeping lion, and then the alarm clock goes off. Lion kind of wakes up and they're like, "Stop lying around. Join us tonight. 3 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The weirdest time zone and time to choose, but whatever. Who cares?
I love how trolly they were being about it.
Dude, yeah.
They were having fun.
A literal lion wakes up by getting woken up by an alarm clock, and then quit lying around. And then of course, Twitter and everything and Reddit blew up with them like, obviously the tease is for Lionel Johnson, but people were like, watch them bring back like Russ and be like, sorry, we were lying. Like, which I would have been fine with too. I'd have been like,
I would have been completely fine with that.
Dude,
that would have been so out of left field.
Every fucking Wolfie out there would have just like, we would have never heard the end of it. Because
No.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but people that play Space Wolves are an obnoxious bunch. But I love this.
Yes.
Like, I love the Space Wolves, and the people who love them. They don't care how tropey they are. They love them, and that it's fine.
Yeah.
I'd have been fine with Russ, but they weren't trolling us that hard, because 3 a.m. GMT came around and we got. I'm pulling up the picture right now. You won't be able to see it, but
I have it up.
Lion L. Johnson is returned to canon lore and the tabletop game. Dude, Tywin Lannister is in the house. Like,
he looks sick as fuck. I love the new model.
I love it.
The paint scheme, dude. They combined the green of the new Dark Angels with the black armor that he had before. They've got the golden lions fucking. Do you see the lion pelt?
You know what it looks
on his back?
like? You know what it looks like? It looks like, because he doesn't, like, Gilliman got a fancy new set of armor. That's how they woke him up.
Yeah.
It looks like, and I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with how he looked pre-heresy and whatnot, but it like, based on what you said about the coloring, it looks like he just like took his old armor and just real quick did like a slap paint job and put some green on there. Because if you look at the boots, look at that, like there is black there. It's like straight up black in some areas. It's green.
It looks like it actually shit. It actually, I can't see his right pauldron in this picture, but it looks like they modernized his original set of armor.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks like they didn't build him a brand new set. They just threw some upgraded pieces on, maybe some like leftover primarch like tier set they put on him, make him better. But like,
I gotta say, the word right now is like, so Gilliman's model is very busy. There's a lot going on. This still seems elegant, still seems regal, still seems fitting of a Primarch, but just looks less busy, and it looks just more simplified. Like, it's good. This is fantastic.
I love the Ultramarines, my favorite chapter. Guilliman is my favorite Primarch, but I have to say, I didn't love in a universe full of magic and like wormholes to hell that you can just like that you have to use to get from point A to point B. Like, they were like, no, we have to have this suit of armor that keeps Guilliman alive like he's Darth Vader, and we will use elf magic to augment this process to heal his mortal wounds. I mean, couldn't they have just done the heal his mortal wounds? Yeah, I know you can, but it's now become his iconic suit, and it is just, it's kind of, I know I'm going to get a little bit of hate for this because I know people do love this model, but yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't love when 40K takes armor and puts like filigree over every single inch of it. It's just, that's, in my opinion, that's a chaos thing. Like, you look at Chaos Marines, Chaos Terminator, they're covered in like spikes and filigree and like bullshit, and it's like, okay, I get it. You guys are supposed to be busy because you're dedicated to a god and you're trying to get his attention. Right. But why is Guilliman? Is he trying to get his dad's attention? Maybe, but
I see what you're saying. I don't disagree. Like, this level of looking at this model for Johnson, using that as an example, I'm okay with this level of busyness for a Primarch. But but it's when you've got like every captain, every honor guard, it's when everyone, even some of your like lower, more like, run-of-the-mill troops are just decked the fuck out in everything. It's kind of like, where's the standardization of like a military? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is Codex Astartes' most compliant chapter. Why has everybody got random gold?
Well, the
like, gold is not trim.
Yeah.
Gold is just one of the chapters, not chapters, companies trim. Everybody else has a different color.
The royal blue and gold, like, it pops the most. That's why it's used for advertising.
It's the most iconic. Yeah. I'll give them that.
Yeah. I mean, I did my Ultramarines that I'm painting in blue and gold. It's just, I'm basic. I
That's
don't
the
give a
choice.
fuck. Yeah.
If you're pinning your own army, you don't have to stick to the conventions of the lore. Pick the best one, which is gold and
Yeah.
blue. Absolutely.
I almost
I mean,
did.
why would you want the green and blue? That's the worst one.
So my captain in Gravis armor, I wanted to base him off of a character from the Dark Imperium trilogy, Captain Felix, because he wears Gravis armor, and I couldn't find. At one point before he gets, because he's a Primaris Marine, before he gets made an actual Ultramarine and gets made the 11th captain, it says that he has light blue trim on his pauldrons. But I wasn't sure if once he formally joined the Ultramarines and was made a captain, I don't know if that changed, so I just made it match the rest of my troops. But anyway, the
Yeah.
Lion.
Dude,
So-
okay. I've been a Dark Angels fan for a long time. I'm not as big a fan of them now as I was.
Yeah.
There was a time when I'm trying to find the game called Space Hulk Deathwing
Oh yeah.
really got me into them because you got a little bit of lore, you got a little bit of like, you got to hear as Captain Azrael scream at you for sucking at your job and go back in there and kill more Tyranids. That was great. That's classic how it is to be a Terminator.
Yeah.
Just because you're in the first company doesn't mean you're not still a grunt. Get the fuck in there and kill more gene stealers. You shit. Go back. Get your power fist and mash that bitch. Oh, did you die? Go back. Like, that's how they are.
Yeah.
And I love that about them. I also love that they are like the harshest with their Inquisitors. They really live up to the Inquisitor term. But now that the Lion's back, the Lion wasn't quite that insane with how he ran things. He was much more like, I think this is a pretty good comparison. Tywin Lannister.
Yeah. What do you think's gonna be the difference between lore-wise between like his return and Gilliman? Like obviously, I think they're both gonna be like, well, this place is fucked. But like,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Williman was an administrator.
yeah.
Like his empire was the best.
Yeah.
Basically, Lion had
Well,
Caliban.
Well, that's the thing is like I make this argument to anyone, and here's the thing: this also just makes people roll their eyes because anytime you defend Ultramarines, and especially when you defend them well, it just makes people roll their eyes.
It really does. It makes them mad.
It's like, look, all the Primarchs except Angron managed to become the rulers of their adoptive homeworlds. Gilliman's the only one that when he was found by the Emperor, he wasn't just ruling his homeworld. He had his own 500 world space empire.
Yeah.
And how the Emperor wasn't like, well, this is my boy right here. Like I don't like.
I'll never get over
Horus.
Like Horus heresy lore bullshit where Sanguinius was made the leader of the Imperium Secundus.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get why. Before anybody asks me, I get why. People loved him. People loved Sanguinius. He was an angel, literally. I get it.
It was being based in Ultramar. That was gonna be the beginning of it. And Gilliman didn't want to be like he didn't want it to look like I'm taking control of this shit. Like
and I get why. I totally get it. He also wrote it that way. So I just want everybody to know they could have written it in such a way that because of Williman's personality and past, where he didn't even try to like technically rule the 500 worlds. For the most part, they were individual worlds who just were paying fealty to Macragge and to Ultramar as a whole.
And if he needed to, he would,
enforcing order. But if he had to, he just he had Ultramarine captains and like leaders who could do that he trusted.
Right.
I just see a world where Ultramarines, like where Williman comes to the Imperium Secundus and explains the situation. He's got Sanguinius next to him to enforce the image that, look, guys, the two nicest guys in the Imperium are right here. Cool, everything's chill. He didn't have Peter Turbo with him. You know, it wasn't like he was this guy in the Imperium with him. He had Sanguinius. So they're standing there together. He could have just been like, look, I am the best at maintaining a bureaucracy. I'm really good at it. And that is what the Imperium is. This is the Imperium Secundus. We're just trying to keep shit in line. Sanguinius is the face. He's the guy.
The fucked up thing is like, once they found out, once the Horus Heresy was over and done with, what did Gilliman do? He went, okay, I'm in charge. Like
like he did it anyway.
And what is he doing right now? Dude, honestly,
the exact same thing.
Honestly, man, I recommend anyone who is like, fuck off with the Ultramarines and Gilliman, read the Dark Imperium trilogy and tell me that like you don't feel for this dude. Like this dude has got it rough. I want to give Rabute Gilliman a hug. Like that dude,
he needs one.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're gonna be okay. I'm from a universe where this is all just a story, and I can tell you're gonna be okay. Like I'll make sure.
My favorite meme I've seen is Lionel Johnson. The very first thing that he does with Gilliman is just hug him and say, "It's okay, brother. You're not alone anymore." Because Gilliman is like, you know he needs that.
Yeah.
Like, Gilliman needs that.
Dude,
Lion
Gilliman,
is going to go fight. That's what he's going to do.
the minute he sees him, Gilliman's gonna be like, everyone get the fuck out. And everyone's gonna leave the
Yeah.
room, and then Gilliman's as soon as they leave and the door shuts, Gilliman's gonna go, "Oh my god, I'm so happy!"
And he deserves a good cry, dude. He
It's been
deserves
so
it.
hard.
He's worked his ass off. Okay, so this is what I think is going to happen. I think that
Mortarian's
gonna
being
keep doing
a
what he's doing.
mega cunt to me, brother. He tried to poison me.
Yeah, dude, you know they're gonna rip on Mortarion though. You know that Gilliman's gonna tell Lion, he's gonna go, bro. So did you know that our brother Mortarion heard Dad's voice and freaked the fuck out? Got sucked into Nurgle's mansion,
Yeah,
bitch, and then burned his garden down.
After allowing his garden to be burned, yeah. Dude, Mortarion's getting buck fucked by every disease-ridden dildo there is, like right now, like so that's what's happening. But, yeah, man. And then, dude, I love Gilliman, so talking about him like being a little like crybaby hurts a little bit, but at the same time,
hurts a little bit, but he needs to cry.
Yeah, he's had it rough, and so, but I hope that they don't write Lion like just this like stern dickhead older brother who's just like, quit being a pussy, let's go. I hope he's a little more like, it's okay, big brother's here. I'm gonna handle it. Where's Angron? I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he's gonna go pimp slap Angron. Like, Lion is the older brother. Like, he took over Caliban basically by being the older brother. Like, he just, when they had monsters swarming around Caliban's walled cities, he was like, guys, we can't just chill behind the walls. We can go kill the monsters. And then they did that, and it worked.
Well,
he wasn't trying to, like, be the king. He just was in the end.
He didn't even suggest it. Like, he was just out. He grew up in the wild, just like ferally.
All about that. He's Tarzan. That's right. He's Tarzan.
He just ferally. He grew up in the wild, just ferally like killing the chaos monsters. Like when Luther found him, he was just this wild Tarzan boy, just kill these monsters that have terrorized these people for like ever. He's just out there just like ripping them apart, and they're just like, this dude's pretty cool. Like,
they found like an 8-foot-tall 13-year-old, and we're like, shit, who the fuck is that? We should take him inside, I guess.
Dude, so like that's something else. Just on a funny note here, like the primarchs being like 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
Do you think there were any of them that like every human being they've ever interacted with is like half their size? Do you think there were any of the 20 that like when they met the Emperor, he was like, "I'm your dad"? They're like, "No, you're fucking not." Like prove it.
Who else would be their dad, right? The other 12-foot tall guy.
Try 14. Like.
Yeah.
Like it's like.
Yeah, the Emperor. Like, I think there was one. Actually, isn't it only one that he didn't have to explain it to? Like, he had to explain to all of them, but it was not Mortarion, Magnus, who sent. Oh, he didn't have to explain it to Russ? Okay, I don't remember that one. But...
Russ made him do all those fucking contests.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's like, bro,
Magnus just like was like, oh, that's my dad.
It's like with Russ, of course. I mean, like the space wolves are all like clinically retarded, like a little bit.
Like, dude, they're so dumb. They're the only ones who invented space-grade alcohol. That's why I love them, dude.
That's not true. The Ultramarines have their like McCraig wine.
They have their wine, but it doesn't exactly get them trash like Fenrisian Ale does. Yeah. there's like a what is it? A Horus Heresy scene where another Space Marine drinks Fenrisian Ale and it compares it to like the fuel that they put into tanks or something. Like it was just like, ugh.
Bro, yeah, but like the level of stupidity and like just stubborn moron you have to be for like your entire life. Every human being you've ever seen is half your size, and then this 14-foot dude shows up. It's like, I'm your dad. And you're just like, prove it. Like,
prove it.
Like, bro, who else could it be? like,
I love the duality of the Emperor too, because sometimes he'll go way out of his way to prove that he's your dad, and then other times, he'll just be like, get on my fucking ship, you loser! Get on! I don't care about your friends. I hope they die. Get on the ship! Like, dude, he just like made him get on the ship and then fucked off, and he was like, but my friends, and he's like, look, your friends here, watch. He just pulls up a vid screen. Watch them all burn, okay? They're all dying. Doesn't that suck? Okay, get over it. Get in your cabin.
Bro, Go command your
We have a
legion.
war to win.
Dude, it's like, dude, if you were a primarch that was discovered like towards the later end of the Great Crusade, sucked for you, because his patience was getting thin by then. Like,
It's gone.
yeah, like no, of course Horus was his favorite. He found him at the beginning. Everything's off to
Yeah.
a good start. Like, you know, like,
Oh, Horus.
by Angron the
Fucking
Emperor.
Erebus, dude.
Dude, by Angron, the Emperor was just like, oh Jesus, fuck, this crusade is madness. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You know
I want to go do the web.
Do you know about the lore of the mother? I gotta look her up. The Primarch mom.
I've read it briefly, but
So-
hey, so hold on. So, the Emperor's shield. Do you think that this is like, where in the lore did the Emperor have a shield? Like, I've been
I
hearing a lot.
don't exactly remember.
I've been hearing a lot about
I've
this,
ever.
and it kind of seems like, I mean, they could bullshit any lore they want into the canon, I guess, but like, yeah, it just seems kind of like a little throwaway, like, because Gilliman.
I think it's for literally one moment coming up with Lion's fight with Angron. That's literally all I think it's for.
Okay.
Like, I think he's gonna fight Angron. Angron is gonna be empowered because this is basically how Chaos works. Nurgle was the Ascendant for a while because he created the plague, the plague moons. I forget what it was called. This stretch of the galaxy that was like encoded in plague, run by plague marines and chaos demons from Nurgle. And then Guilliman fights fights Mortarion in Nurgle's garden and calls upon the power of the Emperor. And the Emperor himself and his spirit burns the garden, burns the entire thing down.
Yep.
Nurgle's power away, which is kind of how chaos works. It isn't kind of, it's exactly how it works. All of Nurgle's power is tied to his gardens, and it was one of the huge ones was burned away in the war. So he lost a shitload of his footholds in the galaxy.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter if your enemies or allies in chaos. Like, Khorne doesn't hate Nurgle. Nurgle doesn't hate Khorne. But Khorne now has a champion in the mortal realm, and he has Angron, and they've kind of just been chilling. So now he's Ascendant. At least that's what Games Workshop is alluding to. Now it's Khorne Ascendant. Khorne's going to be the main guy for a while. Yeah. You're going to get a lot of blood moons and gladiator.
No. Oh, you didn't watch the full reveal last night, did you?
Age of Sigmar. I got bored.
Oh, dude.
Was there more after that?
It's not. So Khorne and Angron are the main villains of, like, going to be the climactic end villain for this Arks of Omen thing. But they veered off into Horus Heresy, and then I guess they went into Age of Sigmar, and then they circled back.
I watched Horus.
And then they circled back to play a brand new CGI cinematic announcing 10th edition of the overall game.
Oh.
And guess what it is?
Shit. What? Siege?
The Fourth Tyrannic War.
Oh, wait, are we getting like the Red Corsairs and stuff, or?
No, dude. Did you hear me?
Did they say? Yeah, Fourth Tyrannic War. Wait, am I thinking of the wrong? Oh, I'm thinking of the Bad Ad War. What's the Tyrannic War?
Tyranids.
Oh my god, of course!
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's way better than Khorne. I'm sorry. I was not excited about Khorne at all.
Dude, after this call, watch the cinematic for 10th edition that they revealed. Dude, it's scary. Like,
dude, that actually, okay, that kind of explains why the new Space Marine game coming out is featuring Tyranids.
Yeah.
I was just thinking they were throwing away Tyranids into it, but it actually connects.
I'm looking at it now going, because here's the thing, they announced the Space Marine game, but we don't have a release date, we don't have anything more about it, and I've been kind of thinking, like, now that we know 10th edition is going to be Imperiums versus Tyranids, Fourth Tyrannic War, I'm kind of looking at it like maybe that's why they've been kind of hush-hush with the Space Marine game, because it does take place, and they're trying to kind of like keep some spoilers.
Maybe it's got some lore bits.
Yeah. That'd be cool, because I'd be happy to see
weirdly enough, like, Chaos sometimes works with the Imperium, not works with, but like have conjoined goals.
Sure.
Things like the Necrons fucking with the shit, or like Tyranids coming in, or Orcs, big time Orcs. Orcs are always a problem. But Tyranids, dude, that's sick. Dude, okay. Can we finally in a video game have a Broodlord that doesn't suck ass? Because every Broodlord in every game I have ever played as or against sucks total ass. Like, they are four-armed, sword-wielding psychic gods who can call upon Swarm Lords, sorry. They can call upon the Swarm, hence the name.
Yeah.
But every time I've ever fought one, it's a 1v1 fight with me against them, and then I just either stomp the whole game as just the Swarm Lord, or kill him in like 10 hits, which makes no fucking sense because they regenerate and have all these psychic abilities they don't use.
No, I got it. I get you. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the Space Marine game is going to entail. I just know that they announced that 10th edition is going to be 4th Tyrannic War. It's Imperiums versus new Tyranid, High Fleet, crazy bullshit. And they unveiled brand new Terminator models. Terminator models are getting an update. So they're bigger.
I like what
they're very, very similar to what they already had for the tabletop. They're just a bit bigger and a bit more finely detailed. And everyone's like,
they really shouldn't change them very much.
Well, like, it went hand in hand.
Forgotten bit of lore is that they are technically the most advanced form of power armor you can get.
Yeah.
Like, they were initially designed to replace every suit of power armor that every Space Marine wears, and the Emperor was going to implement that. He was going to get rid of all power armor, replace it with Terminator armor. Primaris armor feels like a middle ground to me. You're bigger.
Well, there's
it's more
a lot
armored.
Of variations for Primaris armor. There's like the Phobos armor.
Yeah.
There's
that's Belisarius Call's special touches.
Yeah. There's like my captain is wearing Gravis armor. I like the Gravis armor. The Gravis armor is pretty cool.
I'll look that one up.
What was I gonna say? Oh, and do you kind of like see what they're going for here? So what they unveiled in the same unveiling last night, they unveiled Lion is back, and we got new Terminator models. Is this not Games Workshop going, hey, don't you want to build a Deathwing army?
Dude, yes. Shit, I do.
The Lion's back. You got a new Lion model, and you got new Terminator models. Don't you want to build a Deathwing army? Like, that's.
Did they? I don't even know. Did they release a new Azrael model, or is it still the old model?
It's still, it's. I mean, it's probably new in that like it's come out in the last 6 years, but I don't think it's like new as in like came out last night.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I love the Deathwing. My favorite. Okay. Here's the thing. People who like Dark Angels already know this. People who don't really get that deep into Space Marines might not know this. The Codex Astartes breaks down what your companies do, and the Dark Angels don't obey that. So the first chapter, they kind of do. Okay. So the first chapter is called the Deathwing.
Yeah, it's the
Terminators. The first company, that's Deathwing. That's the Terminator company.
The
second is called
Ravenwing, and it's the bikes.
And they're like jet bike, assault bike guys. They're actually way more badass than they sound. Like jet bikes and bikes in general sort of lose people. I get that. If you read the Dark Angels Codex, it's very good.
Right now, bikes are kind of hot in the tabletop game. Like especially.
Yeah, they had a codex, not a codex, omnibus for the Dark Angels.
Yeah.
That basically takes place from the Ravenwing, a guy's perspective of being in the Ravenwing, and then going to the Deathwing.
Right. And
you get to actually experience what they're doing.
I got you.
Very cool.
What do you think of the Lion's new sword? It's not his sword, like his sword. Cypher still has that. This is a different one. Yeah,
I like it because it just seems like he was ready for battle. He was just like, he got a new suit of armor, and they were like, we don't have your sword. He was like, do you have a sword? And they just handed him one, and he was like, good. Like, that's what it felt like.
So, it's twofold. I see this as one, it's like, Games Workshop, they don't want to give us everything all at once. If they give him his sword back right away, what that means is that he has met up with Cypher. So then they have to go ahead and do that story. And then also number 2, they have to now release a new Cypher model because the Cypher model has his sword.
Has his sword. Yeah.
So, and I think they're like, we don't want to release like we're already releasing new Terminators, new Termagants, or whatever the Tyranid one is, and Lion model. We don't want to release it anymore. And then on top of that, I think they're kind of saving the meetup between Lion and Cypher for a later date.
And I think they want to save Cypher because I think he's way more important than we think he is.
Yeah.
Like he could be truly he could be a lot of things. He could be like a Thunder Warrior.
Oh no, you know what the current leading theory is? He's Omegon.
I believe it. I would buy it.
The other Primarch of the Omega.
Dude, I would buy it.
Yeah.
He was known to be small. They were both known to be small. They weren't 12 feet tall.
People think he's Omegon, and in the end, he's gonna redeem the Alpha Legion and bring them back into the.
I hope that's not just a shit ton of copium huffing. Like, it's Omegon, guys. I promise. Don't worry.
I saw a symbol on the arm. It's Omegon.
Like, that's some copium, but at the same time, that actually That actually does seem like a good copium theory, so I'm on board for it. Like,
Right.
I can really get on board with that one.
Yeah.
And like, who doesn't love the Alpha Legion? They're
Yeah.
so ambiguous.
Yeah. I think my two most things I'm hyped for are the Lion meeting Rabute and the Lion meeting Cypher. Those two.
Yes.
I honestly don't know which one. I mean, like, I'll take them in either order. Here's what I think though.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna have to be Gilliman first, because Cypher's doing what he knows he needs to do. Like, he's on his mission. He knows what he's got to do. Gilliman though, I see him being more like, once one of them finds out that the other is also alive and operating, I see Gilliman making a beeline to Lion.
For sure. I see that too.
I don't necessarily see Lion making a beeline to Gilliman. Like, they weren't close. They're going to be close now going forward because they're the only two surviving operating primarchs, but they weren't close in the past. And I see Gilliman, though, being like, let's go. I need help. Like, get me over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can also see Robout being the bridge that brings them together. Like,
yeah.
Because you said it, they're not close, but Robout has changed a lot. Like, he had to do a ton on his own suddenly. And the Lion hasn't yet. The Lion is kind of just walking blind into. He probably honestly is going to think, like, why wouldn't he? He's going to think that the Imperium is going to be mostly what it was when he left, and it's just not going to be that at all.
Which when he left it was Gilliman was Imperial.
The war.
Gilliman was Imperial Regent. They were in the aftermath of the heresy. They were holding it together. It was fine, but it wasn't what it was. Now it's shit. And he's gonna be like, God damn.
I wonder, dude. They all that we're about now know about the Grey Knight and the Inquisition and the Ordo Hereticus, Ordo whatever. He knows all about that. The Lion, he basically invented that concept.
Yeah.
The Inquisitors, like that more or less is his invention.
Sure.
Just making sure that the people around him, because this happened after Chaos. Like, Chaos happened, and the Dark Angels was one of the worst hit, and also the most suddenly hit, because it was from within their own ranks.
Right.
So I am curious to see, is he gonna be like kind of a bad guy a little bit in the beginning? Like, is he gonna be super on board with getting the traitors, or is he gonna be more like, let's get the Imperium back on track? That's what I'm curious.
That's what I'm curious about too. Is like, him and Gilliman weren't close. I want to see them work together, but we will see what they plan to do. This is one of those franchises where I'm not yet in of the mindset that they need to just shut up and do what the majority of the fans are saying. I'm still kind of like on board with this enough to where I'm like, I'm cool with them taking creative freedom and liberties and just kind of giving us some stuff like.
Yeah.
Like, this was
if they just did what the fans wanted, dude. The Emperor would come back and wipe out Chaos, and the Grey Knights would fucking like trod the galaxy. That would suck.
I don't want the story to end, but like, for example, like more Primarchs coming back, specifically, like, on that note too, like, in terms of other Primarchs to come back, like, Gilliman was my first, like, he'd probably be the first one. It just made the most sense. And then the second.
How do you feel about? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And then for the second one, I was like, second one to come back, I think the strongest one is Lion. An argument could also be made for Russ, but I think and it worked out that way too. So it's kind of like, they're not straight up front. Here's how I'll put it. You know how, like, when we were younger and it's like your birthday's coming up or Christmas is coming up and people are like, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? And you tell them. And then when your birthday or Christmas finally rolls around and the present's there, the present's wrapped up. You don't know what's in the box. But so it is still a surprise. But at the same time, you asked for something specific, and when you open the box, you want it to be that thing. It's like the best of both worlds. That's what we're getting here. It's like, we're telling through the internet, through Reddit, through YouTube, through all social media, we're telling Games Workshop what we want. We don't want them to just come flat out and be like, okay, we're going to give you guys what you asked for.
Yeah.
But in the end, we want them to give us what we asked for.
Yeah. Wrap it up a little bit, put a little show on.
Yeah, we just don't want you to, like, be upfront about, like, okay, we'll do that for you. Like, don't just tell us you're gonna do it for it. Yeah, make us wonder.
I like what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think, shockingly, I was, for a long time, and this actually, I think a lot of people felt this, there was a period of time in Games Workshop where a lot of us were getting bored. Like, we were basically just reading stories about And this is pre Rabout coming back. So like we were just reading Space Marines, random guys who went and did crazy shit, and like that was cool for like a while.
It's cool,
but then you were just like,
really
okay, this is because you start off with like the Ultramarines or the Space Wolves. Those I think are the two biggest starting points.
Yeah,
and you branch out from there.
I like Space Wolves because you start out with a character who's not a Space Marine. He's a young boy, and he becomes a Space Marine. Yeah,
I personally love the Space Wolf books the most. I think those are my favorite. I have
Caiaphas Kane's a good one too, but yeah.
I have, dude. I bought this just to be a turbo nerd. I bought the OG copy of the Space Wolves with like the original Ragnar cover.
Yeah.
So, because I wanted to have, I also have the other one somewhere in my boxes, but I have the new one as well, and I really like those books. I do think they're better books. Like the Horus Heresy books, in my opinion, are unbeatable when it comes to when you really want to get into the lore.
Here's the thing with the Horus Heresy. There's over 50 novels in the Horus Heresy series, so they're not all great, but
no.
There's highlights.
But the main line, if you look up the main line of Horus books, like I did, I was those are all good.
Yeah.
I would say you can avoid some of the ones like the Magnus book isn't entirely necessary unless you're like a Thousand Suns super fan. You don't need to read that one.
Right.
But like reading the stories about Garvio Loken and about Horus and all that, those are great. But then you get into the lore now, right? And it actually feels to me how they were writing the Horus Heresy.
Shit's happening.
They're thinking, shit's happening. That's how the Horus Heresy book felt. Like shit was both coming together and falling apart, and that's how they're doing it now. Because before Rabout, everything was just falling apart constantly. There was no coming together.
Right.
It was just collapsing more and more in on itself.
Right.
Now there's real hope and change. They've even sort of teased. I hesitate to even say that. Like Mortarion could be redeemed. Technically speaking, Mortarion didn't choose to serve Nurgle.
His
Typhus chose it for him.
Dude, Typhus is a bad motherfucker.
Dude, Typhus is such an asshole, but I actually love Typhus.
Dude, he was in the second book of the Dark Imperium trilogy, Plague War. He fought the chapter master of he single-handedly dueled the chapter master of the Nova Marines, and dude, like it's written from the point of view of this Primaris Marine who's been assigned to the Nova Marines. He's of Gilliman's line, but he's been assigned to the Nova Marines, and it's his first outing like in combat with the Nova Marines as a Nova Marine, and they end up crossing paths with Typhus. And obviously, who's gonna challenge Typhus other than the chapter master? Like the chapter master's like, this is gonna suck, but it's my role. I gotta do it. Like, and he challenges Typhus to one-on-one combat. Like all the warriors clear away, the Death Guard, and they all clear away, and they fucking go at it. And from the perspective of this Primaris Marine, he's watching the Nova Marines chapter master duel this dude, and he's like, how could he's like his speed, his technique, it's all flawed. How could he not win? And then Typhus is just like, and that's
that's kind of Typhus's way. Like a tiny little lore drop on Typhus for people who might be interested in 40K but are just getting into it now. Typhus is a crazy motherfucker. Okay, he has a ship that has existed for 10,000 years called Terminus F. That thing is literally covered in shit. I'm not even joking. Literally covered in shit.
And pus and puke
and pus and blood and like pubes and everything, like armpit sweat, like anything you can think of. The sweat behind your knees, that's all over his chair.
Under tit sweat, like that's in there.
Yeah, dude, under his tit sweat, dude. He's gotta have big, huge, bloated titties.
Yeah.
He wipes his ass and then he does that. That's the kind of guy he is. Yeah. So he walked into Nurgle's garden just as a guy, right? He doesn't have the fluted spine full of the rot flies yet. He's just in his Terminator armor with a scythe. He walked into Nurgle's garden and was like, he walked up to Nurgle, who's a corpulent blob in a pool of what I just described his ship is covered in. That's like that times a million. And he dipped his scythe in it. And also technically speaking, he grabbed some wood along the way and changed the haft on his scythe with the wood from Nurgle's garden. I don't know really when that happened. They don't really specify, but his haft is made of the wood from Nurgle's garden. And he dipped his scythe in that pool of shit. Okay? So when he fought that Nova Marine guy had like some kind of power weapon or chain weapon. Typhus had if you sniff his scythe, this isn't even a joke. This is actually in the lore. If you sniff his scythe, you can pass out. It can kill you outright just from smelling it. So this guy was holding his own against a guy whose smell can kill you.
Yeah.
That is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
He was never going to win, though.
No, he wasn't. I knew
Typhus can't die. They can't let him die yet.
I knew he was gonna die. But yeah, I'll tell you what. Like, my mindset on the Arks of Omen book series, because here's the thing: when it comes to big lore moments that that happen in like you talk about like Gilliman versus Mortarion and the Emperor taking possession of him and burning Nurgle's garden, that happened in a novel book.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to big lore moments taking place in tabletop game books, I'm less inclined to go pay the money for it because I'm not gonna get it's probably gonna be around like $50 to $70, and I'm not gonna get the game stuff out of it that causes it to be up the price because it's a manual for the game and whatnot. I'm not going to get that out of it, but I'm kind of thinking about it now because I'm getting into the tabletop game. I'm painting an army, and honestly, I kind of want to read The Return of the Lion. So I'm thinking about going, and maybe tonight when I'm up there, I might go buy the Ark of Omen books. We'll see how much they are, but yeah,
I might order those, honestly.
Dude,
since we're getting some real lore coming, I might want to get caught up on the real stuff.
The real stuff is like the highlights is Gilliman's Return, then Dark Imperium trilogy, and now Arks of Omen. That's the highlights.
Oh, I completely forgot about the So I've read the synopsis of Dark Imperium.
Yeah.
But I would rather read the whole book because there's going to be details that I didn't get.
They're fucking great. Honestly, it introduced the Gilliman is written great, and it introduced my new like favorite Ultramarine character, which is Captain Decimus Felix, which is what I base this off of, the dude in Gravis armor. He's sick. He's Rabute Gilliman made him. He reinstituted the Tetrarchs of Ultramar, which are like.
I remember.
They're
yeah, I think those are the guys I was talking about who like ruled the sectors of his vast 500 world. Yeah.
And He made Captain Felix. He made Decimus Felix Tetrarch of the Eastern Marches.
That's a big deal.
And he made him. And
he would never take someone who didn't deserve it.
He waived the rules of the Codex and made him the 11th captain of the Ultramarines chapter. There is no 11th company, but he's the 11th captain and the Tetrarch. So he's my.
Okay.
He's fucking badass.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I like him a lot.
I love it. I'm glad Cato Sicarius isn't getting shit.
Dude, he's the captain of he's the leader of Gilliman's personal like bodyguard, his Victrix Guard. They've made
damn. Well, that is cool though. He deserves it.
They've made Cato
He does deserve it.
They've made him a little more bearable too because the reason he lost the captainship, I guess is what you call it. The reason he's no longer captain of the second company is because he got lost in the warp for like 9 months, and
I didn't know that.
And he watched.
He also lost to the Necrons like 20 times.
Dude, he got lost in the warp on a ship for like 9 months, and he watched all of his men get murdered and eaten by demons, and he's a little like angry Space Marine PTSD right now. So he's a little more. He's definitely not like the text to speech like Cato Sicarius. Like he's not that.
I'm glad. I am gonna miss it a little bit because, like, Cato Sicarius. Like he was just such a weirdo. Yeah. I do like that he got lost in the warp for 9 months and comes back with PTSD. Meanwhile, Kaldor Drago, still to this minute, the supreme commander of the Grey Knights, is just chilling in the warp, murdering demons endlessly. I feel like if he just like walked up to Cato and was just like, first time, huh? And then he just like cuts a greater demon in half. Like that's just. I love the Grey Knights because they're so bananas. But like, I do like that they're finally addressing that the warp is a bad fucking place, and we've only really been viewing it through the lens of people who can handle it, not through the lens of everyone else. Even space variants exposed to the warp are not okay. It's not an okay place.
Right.
I heard it described as like, so this is the best way I can describe the warp to people who are trying to figure it out. Imagine that you took a drink of water and somebody had put 100 hits of LSD in it.
Holy fuck.
Your brain is not okay. You are not okay.
Yeah.
Like someone out there is going to be okay. One in like every 500,000 is going to be fine with that. Everybody else is going to suffer horribly.
Yeah.
You're going to see crazy shit. And then imagine that happens. And then Mike Tyson walks out with MMA gloves on and is like, put him up. And you just have to like fight this guy. And like, he is not on LSD. He's made of LSD. He's fine with LSD. That shit's in his blood. And he's boxing your ass. Like, Cato Sicarius, he made it out. That's big. But like, Kaldor Drago is also made of LSD. So he's like, fine. He's like, let's go, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that. That's good. If he walked out and was completely fine, that would be bullshit.
There's a new acting captain of the second company, and the if you notice, I don't know how familiar you are with like the Primaris like rank markings, but like the red and white stripe on the helmet is lieutenant, and so Titus in the Space Marine game is a lieutenant now. He's not captain, and
he's not a captain.
I feel like this is an attempt to canonize him. It's gonna be like he was, then because he got in trouble, it was stripped from him.
Yeah.
And in the end, he was demoted to lieutenant. And that's when Cato Sicarius took over. He took over from Titus, but now Cato Sicarius got lost in the warp, so someone else had to be appointed. And now Sicarius is he's just kind of like following Gilliman. Wherever Gilliman goes, Cato Sicarius goes. He's the captain of his like honor guard, his Victrix guard. Victrix guard. I think I'm saying that right. But yeah, he's though like one of the few like big name characters of 40k that is just like, I don't know if it must be that he's refusing it, because like it's got to be an option for him if he wants to do it, but he has not yet crossed the Rubicon Primaris. Like Marnius Calgar did it, the chapter master of the Black Templars did it,
Ragnar did it.
Logan Grimnar did it. Chief Librarian Tigurius did it. Mephiston did it.
Mephiston did it.
Who else? There's who's the Imperial Fist dude? Torgar.
Oh, fuck. The Imperial Fist are my weakest lore.
Torgaradon, I think is what his name is. I'm pretty sure he did it.
God, they have cool names.
Yeah, Torgaradon.
I wish they were cheese yellow, but like.
Yeah. It sucks, right? Like it
really does
cool
suck.
if they just like, and Games Workshop, if there's like I know there's like a 1 in a billion chance, but if anyone from Games Workshop is watching this, please understand that everyone in the 40k community is cool with you changing their color. Like we are.
Make them brown, dude. Brown is fine. It's not what I want, but it's way better than yellow.
Yeah, I mean, let's not go like pink or anything, like. But
no, please, just go give us like taupe. Let's go taupe. It's like
honestly,
tan.
if you want to make them gold, like if you want to do shiny yellow, fine.
Yeah.
And just say that's what they've always meant to be. That's fine. Solid gold. But like, fuck, we don't want cheese, yellow, fucking mustard potato salad Marines over here.
No, I don't like it. I don't like my Hellman's mustard Marines. Like they don't sit right with me. Yeah. They're the cool. And by the way, before any Imperial Fist people get mad, I love the Imperial Fist. I just don't like looking at them. Okay. Yeah. I like to hear about what they've done from afar without ever seeing any of it, because they're fucking yellow.
And then they also, you put them next to like the Blood Ravens or the Blood Angels, and it just ruins them too, because then you just got Attack of the McDonald's Marines. Like
you do? Oh my god, they're in McDonald's fry box. Holy shit, that's so sad.
Dude, that's what I hated about like in Marvel when like Daredevil was in the She-Hulk show like this past summer. They tried to go with the classic red and yellow Daredevil costume, and it was just a bag of ass. Like it sucks so hard.
Shit.
It's like
Reverse Flash and Iron Man. Like Iron Man gets away with it because it's gold.
It's gold, yeah.
It's a War Machine, a vastly cooler paint scheme. Come on.
Like what devil is red and yellow? Like, is this like some forgotten? I'm seriously, I'm like, are you some forgotten McDonald's character that like we don't know about? Like
the Ham Deviler. That's who it was.
Ham Deviler.
They tried to get rid of him. They're like, no, that's not working out. He's gonna look way better as a clown.
Yeah. Jesus
oh, dude, that's so sad. Oh my god. And like when you think about the Imperial Fist too, they're better. I hate this chapter, by the way. Like I know everybody loves them, and the Black Templars have a cool lore. They're just out of their fucking minds. They have the best color scheme in the whole franchise, black and white, and it's even got a lore basis. Like they didn't just pick it. It's like based on Emperor's Champion, which is like a thing that the Imperial Fist used to do.
You said black and white. Right?
Sigismund established them. Yeah, black and white.
Yeah, they sold that off to the.
And they got like gold and stuff, and yeah.
I don't know why.
Cool. They're cool.
They should have made. Well, I guess you can't make the Black Templars yellow, but like you should have made the Yellow Templars, and they should have been like, fuck the Yellow.
Just call them the Templars, and then leave the Imperial Fist as the Emperor's Champion, and make them black and white. Like there, I fixed it right there. I fixed the entire franchise. Now the Templars are yellow, and you don't have to care about them. And the Emperor's Champions are now black and white, and they're the Imperial Fist, trying to reclaim their honor from their failure to defend the Emperor. Boom. Yeah. 2 seconds.
All right, man. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Final closing thoughts on the Return of the Lion.
I can only see good things coming. We have a couple of guys who might come back too. Probably before Russ. Corvix Corax is definitely coming back.
I don't know enough about
If you don't know anything about him, read about it. He basically became an Order Chaos Demon, if that makes any sense. And he's hunting Lorgar, and Lorgar is legitimately scared of him, which is a big deal because Lorgar basically is afraid of nothing except Corvix Corax. Why is that? Because Lorgar's a bitch. Angron's gonna get his shit kicked in by Lionel Johnson for sure.
Wouldn't it be a total upset? Wouldn't it be a total upset if like because right now as we speak, people are pre-ordering the fuck out of this model. You know that, right? Yeah. Wouldn't it be a total fucking upset if they bring him back? He's back for like a few months, and then Angron kills him. Like
it would be,
dude.
So out of character for Angron to win.
Fuck GW if that's the case. Like.
Yeah, I'm done. If they kill Lion after bringing him back, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
He's easily the second favorite Primarch of all the Primarchs.
Yeah,
Lionel Johnson.
He's way up there. He's way up there. Yeah, I think it's heading in the right direction. I thought it was a little soon for a sec. I was surprised by how soon we got a second like Loyalist Primarch return, but then I did the math and I was like, oh shit, Gilliman came back 6 years ago. I mean, if that's the ratio, like if we're gonna get one every 6 years, I'm gonna have to do some more research. I'm not exactly too familiar. I'm not familiar enough with the lore to know which ones are even still really eligible to return. Like I know some of them are dead. Like Ferrus Manus is dead.
I can tell you the one. Vulcan, Corvus Corax, Jagatai Khan, Russ, and we've already got Lion and
Gilliman.
And that's it. Okay. So technically speaking, Altharius and Omegon could come back, but they are also technically demons. Or dead, sorry.
Or Cypher.
Or Cypher. Yeah. So many things they could be.
I hope Cypher is Omegon. I think it would make the most sense, in my opinion. I think it would make the most sense for Russ to come back last. And like he succeeded in his mission, whatever he went off to find and do, he found it and he did it. And then he comes back for the Wolf time, for the final battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
he's the Holy Grail MacGuffin.
Even though that would suck because Russ is the shit. And it would suck to get him back just like right as the story ends, and that's it. But
yeah,
it is what
it is. At the same time, though, can you imagine the lore of time?
Yeah,
that would be. Oh.
All right, man. Well, that about wraps it up. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
See ya.
See ya, dude.